It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update as a big debut has been teased for this week's AEW Dynamite. The first challenger for Brock Lesnar's WWE Championship has been revealed, and Jon Moxley looks set to return to wrestling following rehab. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. This past week saw controversy spark via social media for All Elite Wrestling, with former AEW wrestler Big Swole pointing out a lack of diversity in the company's top spots, with her feeling the black community wasn't being represented fairly. This would be followed by a tweet from AEW president Tony Khan, who would dismiss the claims by pointing out black wrestlers who had won on TV in December, before stating he let Big Swole go from the company due to her lack of wrestling ability. Swole has now responded to those attacking her on social media, calling for them to actually listen to the podcast to truly understand her point, and she said, "It's Sunday, take time to actually listen to the podcast instead of reading headlines and excerpts. Understand diversity isn't just a statistic. Counting us/people of color isn't the mindset. Not one time did I ever mention anyone as racist. Comprehension is key." She would also share an audio clip where she spoke highly of Tony Khan, taken from the same podcast that discussed the diversity issues. It's worth noting that Swole's podcast was a very calm discussion, and she doesn't come off as bitter in any way, which some have claimed she is over the past few days. With that said, following Khan's initial tweet, AEW wrestler Lio Rush would call for his boss to apologize, something that has led to a discussion between Rush and Tony, with Rush providing an update on the situation via Twitter, and he would say, "I want to be clear, I do not consider this to be a diversity issue, and at no point have thought or said that AEW or Tony is racist. We can all clearly see that wrestling as a whole and the AEW roster is perpetually diverse. The issue at hand was a racial insensitivity issue. Having spoken to Tony and Mega, we have discussed the endeavors to further understand the struggles of the black community. I am grateful to be able to understand more about Tony and Mega's own ethnic backgrounds, and glad that they are actively seeking input from an African American perspective. I am proud to work for a boss and company that tried to make these strides in social equality. I look forward to working with Tony to keep making steps towards positive change. I pray that 2022 is a year of positive change in all aspects. Happy New Year and God bless." It seems now that the initial tensions online have ended in some kind of resolution, with a bridge being laid between both sides of the debate, which is of course great to see. Next up, WWE are looking to put pay-per-views behind them, with the company rebranding their biggest shows with a new name. They would hold their first, pay-per-view of 2022 this past weekend, where they held the WWE Day 1 event from Atlanta, Georgia. Throughout the show, the event was not referred to as a pay-per-view, but instead a premium live event. In the past, WWE pay-per-views were available on pay-per-view services, but they have now changed their business model, with the events now shown on Peacock and the WWE Network internationally. This switch has now led to this change, which was confirmed by Dave Meltzer on Twitter, who said that WWE no longer have pay-per-view shows, they are premium live events. We can now expect this to be a regular phrase on WWE television. This past weekend, Game Changer Wrestling held their Die for This event in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The show would feature a debut that caught many off guard and indicates that wrestling in 2022 could be just as unpredictable as in 2021. Popular independent wrestler Effie would stand in the ring before being approached by a masked wrestler wearing a cowboy hat, who would then smash him over the head with a guitar. The individual would then reveal himself to be WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett, making his GCW debut. The angle appears to be setting up a match between the two at a future event. GCW seems to be positioning itself as a home for older wrestlers looking for one last run to mix it up with younger talent, with Scotty 2 Hotty having returned to the ring on that same night, coming up short in a match against Joey Janela. This follows Scott's recently requested WWE release, with him having been announced for a number of independent shows. Next up, let's go to an update regarding this past Saturday's WWE Day 1 event, which saw a huge change of plans that led to Brock Lesnar winning the WWE Championship. Lesnar was originally scheduled to take on Roman Reigns for the Universal title, before Reigns was then pulled from the show due to testing positive for the virus. Lesnar would then be added to the WWE title match that night between champion Big E, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley. Lesnar would then pin Big E for the win. According to Fightful, while whilst WWE didn't tell talent who was originally supposed to win the Fatal 4-Way before Lesnar was added, it's believed by those in the company that Big E was supposed to retain, although that is not confirmed. The Fatal 5-Way match was set to go for 30 minutes, but ended up lasting just over 8 minutes. Before Roman Reigns' positive test, the original plans were for Lesnar and Reigns' match to conclude with a huge angle to set up a rematch at WrestleMania, although the specifics on the outcome are not known. This according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter before the event. According to Ringside News, who have been reliable as of late, have revealed that they have been told by a tenured member of the creative team that the Mania plans have not changed for Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. This was explicitly told to the writing team after they had to switch things around at day one. They added that WWE creative were told that the changes will only enhance the Roman Heyman Brock story. It's said that SmackDown writers were prepared for Reigns' absence, with them receiving a heads up that he could be pulled from the show. Next up, we go to a possible tease for an upcoming All Elite Wrestling debut at this Wednesday's Dynamite TBS debut episode. For the past few weeks, Malakai Black has teased the formation of a House of Black stable, with a video airing that seemed to feature the initiation of Brody King to the group, although he remained under a hood. Black would tell the hooded figure, "Now you are so much more than a king," a clear hint that the man under the hood was his fellow PWG Tag Team Champion. Further to this, Black took to Instagram yesterday to hint that Brody isn't the only one set to join him in AEW, teasing a third member to his faction. Black would post artwork with the caption, "The colour will reveal the hidden. Wednesday, 2 with a third to come." It's worth noting that the only colour in the image is over the right eye of Black, meaning the reveal could be linked to his injured eye, with this revealing the hidden. Interestingly, Black would suffer the kayfabe injury during his time in WWE at the hands of Buddy Murphy, who was released from WWE last year, with this post potentially hinting that Buddy Matthews could be joining him in the House of Black alongside Brody King. Whilst this is mostly speculation at this point, it has been reported by Bodyslam.net that Brody has in fact signed with AEW, although there is no word on the signing of Matthews. Now let's go to another story regarding the new WWE champion Brock Lesnar, as his first challenger has seemingly been revealed. According to Dave Meltzer on the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, the WWE Day 1 main event was designed to set up a match between Brock and Bobby Lashley. In the 5-way main event, both of their paths would cross to set up a future angle and match between the two, in favour of a match with former champion Big E, and Meltzer would say, "With Lesnar having won the title, the next step is Lesnar versus Lashley. You could tell at the end of the show, they teased that glare with Lashley and everything like that, and that was the last scene. The match was booked specifically for that direction." Big E was the one that was pinned, because if Big E wasn't pinned, then obviously you'd want to go with Lesnar and Big E. But the decision, for whatever reason, and the reason is the people who are making the decisions felt that there was a more marketable match, went with Lesnar and Lashley. Meltzer would then reveal that there were a number of spots in the match that were specifically designed to set up a match between the two former MMA fighters, and he would add, "Lesnar F5'd everyone, but never F5'd Lashley, and they set up a couple of spots, which was the Lashley spear through the barricade. There was the Lashley spear in the ring, although Lesnar did kick out of that spear. Then there was the Hurt Lock, which Lesnar was trapped in, with the idea that Lashley proved he could get him in there and probably beat him, but Big E made the save. They booked spots all to be dominant. All the spots with Lashley and Lesnar were booked for Lashley to look good, whilst Lesnar pulverized everybody else and destroyed everybody else. So that's the story of where they are going with this. Whilst it's currently unknown when the match will take place, WWE's next premium live event, did I get that right? Is set to take place on January 29th, with the Royal Rumble coming live from St. Louis, Missouri. In November 2021, AEW wrestler Jon Moxley would enter an inpatient rehabilitation program to help him with his battle against alcoholism, with the former AEW World Champion having last wrestled at a Revolver independent show in Clive, Iowa, where he defeated Jimmy Jacobs on October 30th, 2021. It seems that Moxley could be set to make his return to wrestling following GCW's Die for This pay-per-view, where a #1 contender for his GCW World title was decided. At the show, TNA legend Homicide side would come out on top in the Do or Die Rumble, with his title match set for January 23rd inside the Hammerstein Ballroom. Moxley has been the GCW World Champion since September 4th, where he defeated Matt Cardona in just over 1 minute. He has since made one title defense against Nick Gage in early October, with him potentially set for a second title defense later this month. It should be noted that Moxley hasn't officially been announced for the New York show, although he is the reigning champion. Unless GCW somehow find a second contender for the match, with the belt being vacated beforehand, we can assume that Mox is set for a comeback to wrestling. With that said, there is no word on Moxley's AEW return, with him not appearing since late October in the World Title Eliminator Tournament, with fans hopeful of a return soon, that is if he is ready to do so. And before you go, make sure you check out my video where I discuss 12 of the most obscure WWE appearances by AEW wrestlers.